I still hear the tapping on the window sometimes, even though I moved far away. That night, I learned how thin the line is between a normal shift and something you never forget. I work nights. I always have. It's quiet, the pay is better, and I don't mind the dark. But some nights, I wish I'd never taken the job. Here are 6 things that happened to me or people I know on the night shift. All of them are true. I wish they weren't. The tapping at the window. I was working alone at a gas station. It was a small place right at the edge of town. Most people came in for snacks or cigarettes. After midnight, it was dead quiet. I was used to it.
That night, I was restocking the fridge. I heard a soft tapping. I thought it was the ice machine at first. Then I heard it again. 3 slow taps on the big glass window at the front.
I looked up. At first, I saw nothing. Then I saw a pale face pressed to the glass, eyes wide open, staring at me. The face was too close, almost stuck to the window. It was a man. He didn't blink. He just kept tapping, slow and steady. I froze. The door was locked, but I didn't feel safe. He started moving his mouth like he was talking, but I couldn't hear anything. He tapped again, harder this time. I grabbed the phone and dialed 911. The man didn't move. He just kept tapping and moving his mouth. I hid behind the counter. When the police came, the man was gone. They found smudges on the glass where his face had been. They never found him. For weeks, I jumped at every sound. Sometimes I still do. The shadow in the hospital. My friend Lisa worked as a nurse in the ER. She told me about a night she'll never forget. It was a slow shift, and she was checking on a patient in a room at the end of the hall. As she walked down the hall, she saw someone standing at the far end. It was a tall figure, dressed in black. She thought it was a doctor, but the hospital had a strict dress code, and no one wore black. She called out, but the figure didn't answer. It just stood there. She walked closer, but the figure turned the corner and disappeared. She hurried to the corner, but no one was there. Later, she checked the security cameras. The footage showed her walking down the hall, but there was no one else there. No figure, no shadow, nothing. She still works at the hospital, but she never goes down that hall alone. The locked door. I used to clean offices at night. One building always gave me the creeps. The lights would flicker, and sometimes I'd hear footsteps on the floor above me, even though I knew I was alone. One night I was cleaning the bathrooms. I heard a door slam upstairs. I thought maybe a window was open and the wind blew it shut. I went to check. The hallway upstairs was dark. I walked down the hall and saw that the door to the storage room was closed. That door was always open. I tried to open it, but it was locked. I went back downstairs to get the master key. When I came back, the door was wide open. I looked inside. The room was empty except for a single chair in the middle. I closed the door and left. I quit that job a week later. The man in the freezer. My cousin worked at a fast food place. He was closing up late one night when he heard banging from the walk-in freezer. He thought it was his coworker messing around. He opened the freezer. No one was inside. He turned to leave, and the door slammed shut behind him. He tried to open it, but it wouldn't budge. He started to panic. He banged on the door and shouted. Then he heard someone whisper his name. He spun around, but the freezer was empty. The whisper came again, right behind him. He felt cold breath on his neck. Suddenly, the door swung open. His manager stood there, confused. My cousin never worked the night shift again. The last customer. I worked at a small diner. We stayed open all night, but after midnight, it was rare to see anyone. One night, a man came in just before closing. He wore a suit and a hat, and he never looked up. He sat at the far booth and ordered coffee. I brought it to him, but he didn't touch it. He just stared at the table. After a while, I went to check on him, but the booth was empty. The coffee was cold, and the man was gone. I checked the cameras. They showed him coming in, but not leaving. He just vanished. The next night, the same man came in at the same time. He ordered coffee, sat in the same booth, and disappeared again. This happened for 3 nights in a row. On the 4th night, he didn't come. I never saw him again. The phone call. The last story is mine. I was working security at a warehouse. My job was to walk the grounds every hour and check the cameras. One night, around 3 a.m., the phone rang. It was the landline, only used for emergencies. I picked up, but no one answered. I heard static, and then a voice whispered, "Help me." I asked who it was, but there was only silence. Then the voice whispered again, "He's coming." I ran to check the cameras. I saw a shadow moving near the back fence. I grabbed my flashlight and went outside. There was no one there. When I got back, the phone rang again. This time, the line was dead. I never found out who called, but every time I walk past that phone, I feel a chill. These are the stories that stay with me. Nights are long, sometimes they're too long, and sometimes the dark is not empty.